We better make sure it's running, huh? Well, greetings, folks. This is Tommy Jane here. Well, it's coming on 10 o'clock, and I'm definitely like fading, which is nice. I got a couple of sleep sessions in since yesterday. This full moon in Pluto with the Mars opposition has been fucking up a lot of people's sleep big time all week, or since the full moon, I'm sure. I'm always seeing people complaining about being insomniac at Facebook. Oh shit, I can't sleep, so I guess I'm going to complain about it at Facebook. Nah, I didn't want to deal with this on the live feed earlier, so I'm here now. And it looks like Jennifer AJ is the last person to have commented here. I'm not logged in, so I'm going to be able to see everything, including the assholes that I have blocked. This should be fun. This should be fun. And I can't see what the camera can see. As I don't have enough screen to watch both of them at the same time. It's like one or the other. So let's go down to the bottom. This is something that needs to disappear, that I can't make disappear without a court order. They've somehow like made it so I'm sucking on a dog dick or something. This is fucking ridiculous. This is why I block these people. Here's this Batman versus Tony Danza. Noble Greyhorse asked, "What's wrong with Tom's right eye? Camera left. Or does it only droop when he's stoned? It couldn't be free-floating rock dust or just plain regular dust. Certainly, that's a spotless apartment if I've ever seen one. Don't be so hard on the guy. His face already looks like congealed oatmeal. He's going to start sobbing again if we point out that he looks like a stroke victim too." I'm going to start laughing. My face has been smashed and put back together. The two eyes don't ever look the same. I don't know which one you think looks off, but it's my left eye that's been busted up. See, this is why I didn't even look at these people's shit. I don't This is interesting. Oh, here's Sneasel. I've been looking into the TPD's MIHIST division, and there are a lot of interesting news articles out there that I'm going to, like, hyperbolically extrapolate to my feelings about Tom. It seems like the MHIST seeks to end all disputes involving a SMI like Tom quietly and calmly. There is only about 10 cops in the division, but most of the street cops are very good at handling mentally unwell people. And that's why they only see about 10,000 calls a year. And considering that Tom calls them on average 3 to 5 times a day, which is like a delusion, I don't think I've called them since, I've hardly even sent them emails since March. That they seem to be actively seeking to put Tom in inpatient treatment is kind of remarkable, to be honest. They seem as though they don't want to ever have that happen. Well, they've tried 4 times and failed miserably all 4 times. The last time, the doctor wouldn't even sign off on it to send to the judge. And this has been going on for 40 years. I've never been committed to inpatient treatment. Ever. Anywhere. And I've been locked up on police petitions in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 places. And they've never been able to. By the time it gets to the judge, I'm calmed down enough to be able to speak rationally to the judge, and the judge says, "This is full of shit. Goodbye." Most of the time, the staff, you know, the doctor will be trying to push for it, and the staff will tell the doctor, "No, let him go." That's been going on for 40 years. More than that. 44. I'll bet Winsky will be pleased to see this shit. I should just copy this right now. Oh, good. They responded right away to my query about the demortarite in quartz. Yippee. We'll get that in a bit. We'll just put this here for now and think about how we're going to deal with it. I send these to Winsky, Golden, Doggett, and the chief. And the chief and the lieutenant have now all here. They got hold of the senior guard. You better believe it, bitch. The senior garbologist, and that's seasoned, not senior. See, this is what they do. They take things out. They don't. They're illiterate. You know, she highlighted seasoned tech garbologist and then wrote it as senior garbologist. Where's an idiot? I have blocked usually. He thinks I have my computer in my kitchen. No, I have a computer in the front room. Actually, I have tablet that I carry around to all the rooms. The computer's in the middle room, which is like usually a dining room, but I have it set up as my office and studio for music. See, that's a keyboard. Speakers, printer, a bowl of cherries unfinished. The empty white box. I haven't gotten it off the desk yet. and I don't know if you see. I did they get that from my group or my wall? They got it from my wall. In my group, the sister that commented said, "Oh, it probably had too much tzatziki sauce on it for some rich white kid or rich kid or something like that." And I said, "No, it was kind of dry. It didn't have much sauce on it." But if you zoom in on that, the lettuce, you know, the box had never been opened. You know, these things, the tabs don't look the same once they've been opened. They don't. They just never can get them closed again, right? Once they've been opened the first time. So let's see, they're breaking away from. Oh, and here's Jennifer. Instead of tell it to the. She's just so stupid. Just, you know, this is, you know, she's a really like slow, very slow. I mean, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with her, but she's got a speech impediment and she's slow. And I didn't call myself I called myself a seasoned garbologist, you illiterate, nasty little people. She said, so they're talking about how to survive a bear attack. I've run into bears in the wild. I just leave them alone, and they leave me alone. They always, when the rainbow gatherings clear out, they always come and start rooting around in the compost pits. So cleanup crew always sees bears. Unless there's somewhere where the bears don't live. But I saw plenty of bears in Minnesota, and Vermont, and Wisconsin, and shit like that. You just leave them alone, and they leave you alone. And don't fuck with their cubs at all. If the cubs come up to you, boy, get away. Just run. Run away from the cubs. The big bears just, you know, if you don't try to approach them, they'll ignore you until you fucking startle them. But if the cubs want to play with you, boy, don't do it. I see they're talking about some picture about a picture of a bear chasing them. So yeah, so what? So what? So what? What the hell is this now? Yeah, see, this has got to go. That's got to disappear, and I can't do it without a court order. Bears. See, this is all stupid shit. It's a waste of time on either one of these. Here's an ominous. I call him an asshole, and he is an asshole. These guys. Most of them. The main. I have these guys all blocked because they're just redundant. They're alt-right idiots. Total fucking white nationalists. Fuck you. Here, Tom. You know, this is funny because like. This is real funny because then we'll go and read. We'll go over because these guys are a waste of time. I'll read the stuff that one of their other victims is writing to me. This is a total waste of time. This is why I have them blocked. Tom is easily our least intimidating lol cow, and we have some massively cowardly cows who make threats all the time. Fuck, even Potato Phil once hit someone, even if his crippled old mother, and even John Sweet once pulled a knife on someone, even if it was his brother who then proceeded to take away from him and kick his ass. See, this is what I don't understand. Is, you know, I'm a peace warrior. I'm a rainbow warrior. You know, I'm about peace, love, and music, and I never threatened anybody anything other than like warning them if they do that shit in my face, they're gonna get hurt, and usually not by me. It's usually by somebody with me that wants to give them the attitude adjustment that they need. Which is lucky for them because if I do it, I'm likely to hurt them real bad. Because I don't know any other way to do it, thanks to my dad. We'll read that shit too. I don't know what to do about that yet. I don't think I want to post it anywhere, but maybe I'll show it on the video. So you know, he's saying, you know, if I wasn't, you know, hey, an asshole, tell me this, motherfucker. If you're not afraid of me, why do you have me so restricted and not able to post anywhere else on your site? I can't even comment on the thread that, I mean, you probably blocked me off commenting every thread but my own, is what's happening. And you're going to tell me that you're not afraid of me? You're fucking terrified of me, you assholes. You can't handle the truth. You're fucking demented white nationalists. Fuck off and die. Go to another planet. It's kind of sad, really. Shit, Chris is literally the most harmless person imaginable, and he even managed to go all GTA on Snyder. Tom is being upstaged in the tough guy department by a grown man who dresses like a pretty princess. I'm not a tough guy. I'm a Hebrew priestess. No, excuse me. I'm born in the clan Kohen. I'm through like relating to you people in these terms. It hurts me in my heart to be reading this. You know, the father always has his hand around my heart, and the mother has. One of them's got their hand on my balls right now. So, I mean, just reading this shit. You know, I'm an empath. We are one. If you don't know that, hey, just stay good and far from me. You know, it's like the blessing for the Tsar from Fiddler on the Roof. You know, may the Lord bless and keep the kiwi farmers far from me. Hopefully, it's going to be another planet for the kiwi farmers and the AMBeasts any day now. And the drainbows, kiwi farmers, and AMBeasts. Either like take me away from this planet. If you're going to leave them here, please take them off our planet and put them somewhere else. There's my blessing for the kiwi farmers and the AMBeasts. Yeah, I'm harmless too, but if you piss me off, I usually just start screaming, and that's enough. And then when my body gets moving, people don't want to get hit by my hands or my feet. I mean, it's real obvious that I'm going to hurt things if I hit them. You've never seen me dance, or you haven't been paying attention if I ever have been dancing on any of these videos. I don't know, and I don't know how much of the live stuff you're even getting hold of. I haven't seen any of it, which is good. I'm going to be probably shutting down the YouTube channel and just posting these to Facebook and see what happens. Fuck YouTube. Because at least my live stuff from Facebook doesn't seem to be appearing on these people's site. Tom coughs like a consumptive wreck and subsists on rotting garbage and ditchweed. If anyone's going to die soon, it's Tom. Not bloody likely. That's like therapeutic coughing, pal. This is not like I mean, like one or two. The first one is the reflexive one, and then I could force it because I've suffered dust and pollen allergies all my life, and my bronchi and throat and sinuses get congested, and I've been coughing all my life. So Thomas lost J. Wasserberg. No, they won't come there. They won't come there. Are you nuts? Here, this is some fool named Crunchy Salty. So Thomas J. Wasserberg, where are these righteous friends of yours that are standing by you at Facebook all around me and in the streets here? They could come here, create an account, and show us what a swell person you are. No, they won't. We would not know who they are. So where are all these friends? They don't come to places like yours. They plead with me to just like not deal with you at all. So fuck off. Oh, and here's Gary. Here's Chicken Man. They stay real deep in the shadows, fucking drainbow. They could practice play at Facebook too, but surprisingly prefer to stay in the shadows, deep in the shadows. The ones in the drainbow books groups, yeah, they do. But if you show up in if you show up in the Rainbow Family Gathering group, which is unmoderated, you'll see that I have allies there. But you won't see them in the rainbow groups because I'm an enemy of the Rainbow Family, remember? The Rainbow Family of Living Blight. Yeah, Jennifer AJ said we don't fuck moose, they fuck us. Yeah, when they're horny, they're gonna get it. If there's not a cow around for them, they'll go after the dairy cattle. Oh, and here they're ripping off. They're ripping off my videos, images from my videos. Yeah, see, it's all blah 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 blah. Fuck them. I mean, I'm gonna need to go through here and like file some serious DMCA shit. See, they're projecting their own perversions onto me and all these people. This is not what I am. My friends know me for what I am. Yeah, I'm pretty wild, and I'm real weird, but I'm a nice person. I'm kind. I'm generous. I'm considerate. I listen well. And I play pretty music and make pretty things with my hands. Fuck you idiots. Namaste, motherfuckers. Have fun on Mars. Or, I'm looking forward to going to Mars and helping to rebuild the planet. One or the other. I don't care. I just want out of this shit. Because it's just really a short hop between here and Mars. Which is why that planet was wrecked and this one's about to get wrecked. Because, the colonists just don't... The people who live on the surface just don't get it sometimes. And what is it that they don't get that you ask? I suppose I should read this pretty regularly, since this is what they don't get, and this is what the Orthodox Jews read several times a day. This is what you first. This is some of the first stuff you think of in the morning, and the last thing you think of at night. And this is what you think about when you're not thinking about anything else. And Deuteronomy 6 commands us to love the Lord your God. These are the commandments, decrees, and laws the Lord your God directed me to teach you, and me being Moses, my revered ancestor, to teach you to observe in the land that you are crossing the Jordan to possess. Crossing the Jordan to possess. So, now what does possess mean? So that you and your children and their children after them may fear the Lord your God as long as you live, by keeping all his decrees and commands that I give you, and so that you may enjoy long life. Hear, Israel, and be careful to obey, so that it may go well with you, and that you may increase greatly in a land flowing with milk and honey, just as the Lord, the God of your ancestors, promised you. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your strength. These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home, and when you walk along the road, when you lie down, and when you get up. Tie them as a symbol on your head, and bind them on your foreheads. Write them on the... No, that's not what... Oh, there it is. Bind them as a symbol on your hands, and bind them on your foreheads. This is modern English. What's this? This is a New International Version. Write them on the door frames of your houses and on your gates. And when the Lord your God brings you into the land he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and remember that Abraham was the father of many more people than the Jews, to give you a land with large flourishing cities you did not build, houses filled with all kinds of good things you did not provide, wells you did not dig, and vineyards and olive groves you did not plant. And then when you eat and are satisfied, be careful that you do not forget the Lord, who brought you out of Egypt and out of the land of slavery. Fear the Lord your God, serve him only, and take your oaths in his name. Do not follow other gods, the gods of the people around you. For the Lord your God who is among you is a jealous God, and his anger will burn against you, and he will destroy you from the face of the land. Do not put the Lord your God to the test as you did at Massah. Be sure to keep the commands of the Lord your God and the stipulations and decrees he has given you. Do what is right and good in the Lord's sight, so that it may go well with you, and you may go in and take over the good land that the Lord promised on oath to your ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, thrusting out all your enemies before you, as the Lord said. Just make sure you're, calling the right people enemies. In the future, when your son asks you what is the meaning of the stipulations, decrees, and laws the Lord our God has commanded you, tell him, we were slaves of Pharaoh in Egypt, but the Lord brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Before our eyes the Lord sent signs and wonders, great and terrible, on Egypt and Pharaoh and his whole household. But he brought us out from there to bring us in and give us the land he promised an oath to our ancestors. The Lord commanded to us to obey all these decrees and to fear the Lord our God, so that we might always prosper and be kept alive, as is the case today. And if we are careful to obey all this law before the Lord our God, as he has commanded us, that will be our righteousness. Now let's go back on this a little bit. And let's talk about all the Brooklyn Jews that have gone back to make their aliyah and are now living all over the West Bank in flourishing cities that they did not build, houses or outside of them trying to build their own new ones, houses filled with all kinds of good things you did not provide, and people holding keys to them that their great-grandparents had, wells you did not dig, which makes me think of the Tamimi family, which their conflict of interest has been with the settlers undermining their water rights. Vineyards and olive groves that not only did you not plant, you are destroying. But I rage. Let me move to Deuteronomy 8 for a moment. Well, we should probably just do 7. Let's just read it straight through. And notice I haven't coughed. There's a reason for that. I'm not smoking anything, and that's why I smoke to cough, and I'm sucking on a cough drop. So anyway, now we're at Deuteronomy 7, driving out the nations. When the Lord your God brings you into the land you are entering to possess and drives out before you many nations, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, 7 nations larger and stronger than you. And when the Lord your God has delivered them over to you and you have defeated them, and then you must destroy them totally. So, this is like they were ordered to wipe these guys out for some reason. Like, it had to do with their god that they were. It was probably an alien god that they were worshiping. Is what that's about. Here he's saying, when the Lord your God has delivered them over to you and you've defeated them, then you must destroy them totally. And I guess this is them doing the prime directive thing, is that they're not allowed to like really interfere too much, that they have to let the humans work it out themselves. Make no treaty with them and show them no mercy. Do not intermarry with them. Do not give your daughters to their sons or take their daughters for your sons, for they will turn your children away from following me to serve other gods. And the Lord's anger will burn against you and will quickly destroy you. This is what you're to do to them. Break down their altars, smash their sacred stones, cut down their Asherah poles, burn their idols in the fire. For you are a people holy to the Lord your God. The Lord your God has chosen you out of all the peoples on the face of the earth to be his people, his treasured possession, his toys. So, Myron Cohn used to say, so new, Lord, why don't you choose somebody else for a change? The Lord did not set his affection on you and choose you because you were more numerous than other peoples, for you are the fewest of all peoples. But it was because the Lord loved you and kept the oath he swore to your ancestors that he brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you from the land of slavery, from the power of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Know therefore that the Lord your God is God, and he is the faithful God, keeping his covenant of love to 1,000 generations of those who love him and keep his commandments. But those who hate him, he will repay to their face by destruction. He will not be slow to repay to their face those who hate him. Therefore, take care to follow the commands, decrees, and laws I give you today. If you pay attention to these laws and are careful to follow them, then the Lord your God will keep his covenant of love with you as he swore to your ancestors. He will love you and bless you and increase your numbers. He will bless the fruit of your womb, the crops of your land, your grain, new wine, and olive oil, the calves of your herds, and the lambs of your flocks, and the land he swore to your ancestors to give you. You will be blessed more than any other people. None of your men or women will be childless. Well, something happened there. I think it was the Khazarians. Nor will any of your livestock be without young. The Lord will keep you free from every disease. He will not inflict on you the horrible diseases you knew in Egypt, but he will inflict them on all who hate you. You must destroy all the peoples the Lord your God gives over to you. Do not look on them with pity and do not serve their gods, for that will be a snare to you. You may say to yourselves, these nations are stronger than we are. How can we drive them out? But do not be afraid of them. Remember well what the Lord your God did to Pharaoh and to all Egypt. You saw with your own eyes the great trials, the signs and wonders, the mighty hand and outstretched arm, with which the Lord your God brought you out. The Lord your God will do the same to all the peoples you now fear. And that's because I'm getting dry and I need to drink some water. I do not have COPD, thank God. My lungs test real clear. My cardiovascular parameters are very strong. 115/75 is about my natural normal blood pressure, and anywhere from 65 to 75 my normal heart rate, I think. I used to get them nervous because I'd get it down too low. They'd let me, I'd be too relaxed. It'd be like 90/60, and 48 heartbeat. Last I went in there for an allergy thing, and I was laying down waiting on him, and the alarm went off. I got too relaxed. So where were we? Oh yeah, but don't turn them into go to where were we? Do not be terrified by all where the Lord your God will do the same to all the peoples you now fear. That's where I left off. Moreover, the Lord your God will send the hornet among them until even the survivors who hide from you have perished. Do not be terrified by them, for the Lord your God who is among you is a great and awesome God. The Lord your God will drive out those nations before you little by little. You will not be allowed to eliminate them all at once, or the wild animals will multiply around you. Think about that. But the Lord your God will deliver them over to you, throwing them into great confusion until they are destroyed. He will give their kings into your hand, and you will wipe out their names from under heaven. No one will be able to stand up against you who will destroy them. Well, they're about to find out differently. The images of their gods you are to burn in the fire, because they fucked up. Do not covet the silver and gold on them, and do not take it for yourselves, or you will be ensnared by it. For it is detestable to the Lord your God. Do not bring a detestable thing into your house, or you, like it, will be set apart for destruction. Regard it as vile and utterly detested, for it is set apart for destruction. And we move on to Deuteronomy 8, which has some interesting lines in it that relate to the brutal apartheid occupation of Palestine. Can I say that 5 times fast? Brutal apartheid occupation of Palestine. Well, I've written that so many times it only takes me about 5 seconds to do it. If that. So here's Deuteronomy 8. Do not forget the Lord. And this is what they've done. If you ask a Zionist, if you ask a Zionist to justify Israel's existence in terms of Hebrew law, they can't do it. It's always about self-determination and Jewish homeland, and we were there first, and they don't realize, or they won't admit, that the whole thing is like contrary to halacha. Be careful to follow every command I am giving you today, so that you may live and increase, and may enter and possess the land the Lord your God. Possess the land the Lord promised on oath to your ancestors. And remember, Abraham did not only make Jews. He had a bunch of other kids. And they had a bunch more kids. And and grandkids. Esau had a bunch of kids. Bunch of descendants. Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness these 40 years to humble and test you in order to know what was in your heart, whether or not you would keep his commands. And he also wanted the old generation to die off. He humbled you, causing you to hunger, and then feeding you with manna, which neither you nor your ancestors had known, to teach you that man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of the Lord. Your clothes did not wear out, and your feet did not swell during these 40 years. Know then in your heart that as a man disciplines his son, so the Lord God, your God, disciplines you. Observe the commands of the Lord your God, walking in obedience to him and revering him. For the Lord your God is bringing you into a good land, a land with brooks, streams, and deep springs gushing out into the valleys and hills, a land with wheat and barley and vines and figs, trees, pomegranates, olive oil, and honey, a land where bread will not be scarce and you will lack nothing. A land where the rocks are iron and you can dig copper out of the hills. And no, it was not a land without a people, for a people without a land. And no, the Zionists didn't make the desert bloom. It was already blooming. The desertification of the region had You know, that all, you know, where the Sahara and the Arabian Desert are, that all used to be green. But they overgrazed it and turned into desert. So when you have eaten and are satisfied, praise the Lord your God for the good land he has given you. Be careful that you do not forget the Lord your God, failing to observe his commands, his laws, and his decrees that I'm giving you this day. There is nothing, there is no mandate anywhere to have suspended the Ten Commandments the way the Zionists have done in their occupation of Palestine. We're not allowed to lie, steal, or kill. And they're lying, stealing, and killing. You know, Albert Einstein pleaded with President Truman not to recognize the new government because they were fascist terrorists. Where were we? Oh yeah. Otherwise, when you eat and are satisfied, when you build fine houses and settle down, and when your herds and flocks grow large, and your silver and gold increase, and all you have is multiplied, then your heart will become proud, and you will forget the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. He led you through the vast and dreadful wilderness, that thirsty and waterless land, with its venomous snakes and scorpions. He brought you water out of hard rock. He gave you manna to eat in the wilderness, something your ancestors had never known. I guess I read that already, didn't I? And test you, unless it's double, unless you said it twice. And test you so that in the end it might go well with you. You may say to yourself, my power and the strength of my hands have produced this wealth for me. But remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the ability to produce wealth, and so confirms his covenant which he swore to your ancestors as it is today. If you ever forget the Lord your God and follow other gods and worship and bow down to them, I testify against you today that you will surely be destroyed. Like the nations the Lord destroyed before you, so you will be destroyed for not obeying the Lord your God. And I'm going to skip 9 and 10. No, I'm not. I think I'm stuck with this through Deuteronomy 11. We're already up to 37 minutes. This is gonna be an hour-long one, kids. Namaste, motherfuckers. Enjoy Mars, or enjoy, you know, being stupid forever on the surface of the Earth. This is the sorry planet. You're not allowed to be on it or off it without getting sorry first. Okay, so back to our Bible reading. Time for Deuteronomy 9. I forget what Deuteronomy 9 and 10 are about. Oh boy, maybe I should have been. I've been rubbing the Zionist nose in Deuteronomy 8 and 11 for years. So I bet there's shit in here that they need to know too. It's not because of Israel's righteousness. Hear, Israel, you are now about to cross the Jordan to go in and dispossess nations larger and stronger than you with large cities. I thought I read, no. Wait a minute. I guess he's repeating himself a couple of times here. With large cities that have walls up to the sky. The people are strong and tall, the Anakites. You know about them and have heard it said, who can stand up against the Anakites? But be assured today that the Lord your God is the one who goes across ahead of you like a devouring fire. He will destroy them. He will subdue them before you. He will drive them out and annihilate them quickly as the Lord has promised you. After the Lord your God has driven them out before you, do not say to yourself, the Lord has brought me here to take possession of this land because of my righteousness. No, it is on account of the wickedness of those nations that the Lord is going to drive them out before you. It is not because of your righteousness or your integrity that you are going in to take possession of the land, but on account of the wickedness of the nations. The Lord your God will drive them out before you to accomplish what he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Understand then that it is not because of your righteousness that the Lord your God is giving you this good land to possess, for you are a stiff-necked people. Remember this, and never forget how you aroused the anger of the Lord your God in the wilderness. This boy, wait till you see what he does to the golden calf that they're going to put up on the mount. From the day you left Egypt until you arrived here, you have been rebellious against the Lord. At Horeb, you aroused the Lord's wrath so that he was angry enough to destroy you. When I went up on the mountain to receive the tablets of stone, the tablets of the covenant that the Lord had made with you, I stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. I ate no bread and drank no water. The Lord gave me 2 stone tablets inscribed by the finger of God. On them were all the commandments the Lord proclaimed to you on the mountain out of the fire on the day of the assembly. This is interesting. That must, when there's several holidays where the Jews are commanded to get shit-faced drunk and take the scrolls out and dance with them. And if they touch the ground, you have to fast for 40 days. Now, at the end of 40 days and 40 nights, the Lord gave me the 2 stone tablets, the tablets of the covenant. Then the Lord told me, go down from here at once, because your people whom you brought out of Egypt have become corrupt. They've turned away quickly from what I commanded them, and have made an idol for themselves. When the Lord said to me, I've seen these people, and they are stiff-necked people indeed. Let me alone so that I may destroy them and blot out their name from under heaven. And I will make you into a nation stronger and more numerous than they. So I turned and went down from the mountain while it was ablaze with fire, and the 2 tablets of the covenant were in my hands. When I looked, I saw that you had sinned against the Lord your God, and you had made for yourself an idol cast in the shape of a calf. You had turned aside quickly from the way the Lord had commanded you. So I took the 2 tablets and threw them out of my hands, breaking them to pieces before your eyes. Then once again I fell prostrate before the Lord for 40 days and 40 nights. I ate no bread and drank no water because of all the sin you had committed, doing what was evil in the Lord's sight, and so arousing his anger. I feared the anger and wrath of the Lord, for he was angry enough with you to destroy you. But again the Lord listened to me, and the Lord was angry enough with Aaron to destroy him. But at the time I prayed for Aaron too. Also I took that sinful thing of yours, the calf you had made, and burned it in the fire. Then I crushed it and ground it into powder as fine as dust, and threw the dust into a stream that flowed down the mountain. You also made the Lord angry at Taberah, at Massah, and Kebroth, Hatava. When the Lord sent you out from Kadesh Barnea, he said, go up and take possession of the land I've given you, but you rebelled against the command of the Lord your God. You didn't trust him or obey him. You've been rebellious against the Lord ever since I've known you. I lay prostrate before the Lord these 40 days and 40 nights. Because the Lord had said he would destroy you. I prayed to the Lord and said, Sovereign Lord, do not destroy your people, your own inheritance that you redeemed by your great power and brought out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Remember your servants, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Overlook the stubbornness of this people, their wickedness and their sin. Otherwise, the country from which you brought us will say, because the Lord was not able to take them into the land he had promised them. And because he hated them, he brought them out to put them to death in the wilderness. But they are your people, your inheritance that you brought out by your great power and your outstretched arm. That was Deuteronomy 9. I hope I have enough throat left before I have to shut up and let it, you know, just relax it for a few hours. Clear the air passages. When I talk, I suck in too much dust. Pollen, if it's in the air. It's not right now, thank goodness. But it's always dusty around here because of the rail. So let's move to number 10. And then you gotta stay hydrated. Anytime you feel a little bit off anywhere in your body, it's because there's not enough water there. We're big sacks of water. That's all we are. Little chemical factories. Tablets like the first ones. And at that time, the Lord said to me, chisel out 2 stone tablets like the first ones and come up to me on the mountain. Oh, is this where he's going to talk about the ark and shit? Oh, no. I better read this. Also make a wooden ark. I will write on the tablets the words that were on the first tablets, which you broke, and then you're to put them in the ark. So I made the ark out of a case of this is it, but, you know, so I made the ark out of a case of wood and chiseled it out of 2 stone tablets like the first one. I think that this is not the same passage I'm thinking of. I went up on the mountain with the 2 tablets in my hands. The Lord wrote on these tablets what he had written before, the 10 commandments he had proclaimed to you on the mountain out of the fire on the day of the assembly. And the Lord gave them to me, and then I came back down the mountain and put the tablets in the ark I had made as the Lord commanded me, and they are there now. The Israelites traveled from the wells of Beni Jacob to Mosera. There Aaron died and he was buried, and Eleazar his son succeeded him as priest. From there they traveled to Gudgoda and on to Jotbatha, and landed strewn with water. At that time the Lord set apart the tribe of Levi to carry the ark of the covenant of the Lord, to stand before the Lord to minister and to pronounce blessings in his name, as they still do today. And as I drink the water, it's Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hamayim. Excuse me a minute. I'm going to have to give this thing a refill if I'm going to make it all the way through chapter 11. Okay. This is why the Levites have no share or inheritance among their fellow Israelites. The Lord is their inheritance, as the Lord your God told them. Hell of a deal. When I got real sick in 2011, I wanted to die in the worst way. And I was praying one night, asking permission to just let myself die. But see, the deal was I have to survive until they get back without killing anybody or get martyred. No suicide. And I was like, so I asked for permission to just, I was so sick, all I had to do was just stop eating and drinking. And do nothing but smoke cigarettes and tobacco until I just went to sleep and didn't wake up. I mean, smoking weed and tobacco. I figured it wouldn't have been more than 3 days. I was so sick. If I just stopped drinking and eating and sleeping, I was getting to the point where I had to remind myself to breathe. I was so sick and wanting to die. God's answer was, yeah, sure, we need you more here than there. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. How do I know how you, if you don't have there, more fucked up than here? I'll stick with what I know, thanks. So fear the Lord, and now Israel, what does the Lord your God ask of you but to fear the Lord your God, to walk in obedience to him, to love him, to serve the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and to observe the Lord's commandments and decree that I am giving you today for your own good. To the Lord your God belong the heavens, even the highest heavens, the earth and everything in it. Yet the Lord set his affection on your ancestors and loved them, and he chose you, their descendants, above all the nations as it is today. Circumcise your hearts, decolonize your brains, therefore, and do not be stiff-necked any longer. Yeah, decolonize your minds. For the Lord your God is God of gods and Lord of lords, the great God, mighty and awesome, who shows no partiality and accepts no bribes. I don't know. He's got a sick sense of humor. He defends the cause of the fatherless and the widow. He loves the foreigner residing among you, giving them food and clothing. And you are to love those who are foreigners, for you yourself were foreigners in Egypt. Fear the Lord your God and serve him. Hold fast to him and take your oaths in his name. He is the one you praise. He is your God who performed for you these great and awesome wonders you saw with your own eyes. Your ancestors who went down into Egypt were 70 in all, and now the Lord your God has made you numerous as the stars in the sky. See, this is an interesting question here. It's like there weren't a whole lot of Jews ever there, and how in the fuck did it go from 70 over just a couple hundred years, I guess, to like all those millions of people in numbers? And on to Deuteronomy 11. This is one I'm always rubbing in the because this talks about what they're not supposed to do to the neighbors. Love the Lord your God and keep his requirements, his decrees, his laws, and his commands always. Remember today that your children were not the ones who saw and experienced the discipline of the Lord your God. His majesty, his mighty hand, his outstretched arm, the signs he performed, and the things he did in the heart of Egypt, both to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and to his whole country. What he did to the Egyptian army, to his horses and chariots, how he overwhelmed them with the waters of the Red Sea as they were pursuing you, and how the Lord brought lasting ruin on them. It was not your children who saw what he did for you in the wilderness until you arrived at this place. And what he did to Dathan and Abraham, Abiram, sons of Eliab the Reubenite, when the earth opened up his mouth right in the middle of all Israel and swallowed them up with their households, their tents, and every living thing that belonged to them. But it was your own eyes that saw all those great things that the Lord done. Observe, therefore, all the commandments I am giving you today, so that you may have the strength to go in and take over the land that you are crossing the Jordan to possess, and so that you may live long in the land the Lord swore to your ancestors to give to them and their descendants, a land flowing with milk and honey. The land you are entering to take over is not like the land of Egypt, from which you have come, where you planted your seed and irrigated it by foot as in a vegetable garden. But the land you are crossing the Jordan to take possession of is a land of mountains and valleys, that drinks rain from the heaven. It's a land the Lord your God cares for. The land, the eyes of the Lord your God are continually on it from the beginning of the year to its end. So if you faithfully obey the commands I'm giving you today, to love the Lord your God, to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, then I will send rain on your land in its season, both autumn and spring rains, so that you may gather in your grain, new wine and olive oil. I will provide grass in your fields, in the fields for your cattle, and you will eat and be satisfied. Be careful, or you will be enticed to turn away and worship other gods and bow down to them, as in the god of money. Then the Lord's anger will burn against you, and he will shut up the heavens so that it will not rain, and the ground will yield no produce, and you will soon perish from the good land the Lord has given you. Fix these words of mine in your hearts and minds. Tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them on your foreheads. Teach them to your children, talking about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Write them on the door frames of your houses and on your gates, so that your days and the days of your children may be many in the land the Lord swore to give to your ancestors, as many as the days that the heavens are above the earth. If you carefully observe all these commands I'm giving you to follow, to love the Lord your God, to walk in obedience to him, and to hold fast to him, then the Lord will drive out all these nations before you, and you will dispossess nations larger and stronger than you. Every place where you set your foot will be yours. Your territory will extend from the desert to Lebanon, from the Euphrates River to the Mediterranean Sea. Well, now, see, you guys have not, that's Greater Israel plan. They want from the Nile to the Euphrates and everything in between. It ain't gonna happen if you guys misbehave, and you're misbehaving. And this is where it says it. No one will be able to stand against you, the Lord your God, as he promised you. See, I am setting before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing, if you obey the commands of the Lord your God that I'm giving you today. The curse, if you disobey the commands of the Lord your God and turn away from the command that I command you today by following other gods which you have not known. When the Lord your God has brought you into the land you are entering to possess, you are to proclaim on Mount Gerizim the blessings and on Mount Ebal the curses. As you know, these mountains are across the Jordan, westward toward the setting sun, near the great trees of Moreh. I think this is a mistranslation here. Because he talks about the people that we're supposed to be kind to in the Hebrew text. I'll go find that some other time. But we're supposed, let's love your neighbor as yourself. And Allah is the same character as Jah. So that's that. I can't wait until he shows up and sets everybody straight. This should be good for some serious laughs. I can't wait to see what Donald Trump has to say. I think on that note, I'm going to quit. Oh yeah, it's almost an hour long. Have fun with this, you assholes. Because I'm not even going to look at the camera. The camera's going to look at the screen from now on. Anything I upload. No more gifts. No more gift ripping at YouTube for you assholes. So there's that. There it is. I'm me. I'm Tommy. I'm Tommy Jane Tudor, and I am a globally recognized artist, but I don't have very broad recognition, and the people who like me usually know better than to say much. So you'll never see these people on your sites. My friend Stuart Meldrum, and Randy Olson, from Thoughts had gone over there to AMB, and JUOT and that shit when that all went down between Adam, that's socially unacceptable, and the idiots. They've gone over there and checked it out. It's and a bunch of other people did, and it's no. Randy says it's the only site in the whole web where she feels like she needs to go take a shower when she logs out. And Kiwi Farms is worse. So on that note, thank you for listening, and Shalom. Happy day. Bye.